Well, staying on this subject, Texas Republicans are taking aim at President Obama's refugee plan in the wake of the Paris attacks. One America's Matt Schuck has more on this from Washington.
After the smoke cleared from the recent terrorist attacks on Paris, the question remains over what to do with the influx of Syrian refugees into the United States. Texas Representative Babin has been raising concerns about the refugee program when he introduced legislation to halt the flow of refugees.
We cannot let unvetted and unchecked refugees come into this country. After seeing what happened in Paris, it's lunacy. And what the president is doubling down on is just sheer recklessness.
While several of the attackers who have been identified so far had French or Belgian passports, at least one of the terrorists was a Syrian refugee who entered Europe recently. Congressman Farenthold says it's nearly impossible to properly screen the refugees.
But we got 900 folks the FBI is watching now, and we're looking at compounding the problem by bringing as many as 10,000 people in from a failed state where we can't do background checks and can't get adequate information on the people that we're letting in.
More than half of the nation's governors say they oppose letting Syrian refugees into their states. Although the final decision rests with the federal government, the issue has been heating up after the attacks in Paris and a recent threat to attack Washington, D.C. from the Islamic State. Congressman Babin believes it's not a matter of if, but when.
They're here. I think you can just look. The Boston Marathon bombing. You can look at the Garland, Texas shooting. You can look at a beheading in Oklahoma City. You can look at Chattanooga, Tennessee, where 5 military recruiters were gunned down by ISIS sympathizers. They're here. And to let tens of thousands of more refugees, even if it was just 1% infiltration by ISIS, that's far, far too many.
According to the United Nations, Syrians represent the world's largest refugee population, which currently total around 11 million people. The Obama administration announced in September that 10,000 of those Syrians will be allowed entry regardless of states' objections. Matt Schuck, One American News, Washington.